Across the endless reaches of the galactic core, the warning echoed like thunder across the frequencies of every major power. It was not a plea nor a rumor. It was a declaration, broadcast in panic and disbelief by a fleet that had once been considered unstoppable. The alien commander's voice trembled through static and fractured comm lines. His words were the final transmission his species ever sent before their fleet vanished from every scanner in the known galaxy. The message was simple. Do not attack the humans. You will never escape their wrath. Long before that warning, the galaxy had viewed humanity as insignificant, a primitive race from a backwater spiral arm, late to the age of interstellar civilization. While other empires had risen and conquered, humanity had built quietly, advancing beneath notice. They learned, observed, and never sought attention. Their colonies grew on barren worlds. Their fleets patrolled only within their systems, and their diplomats rarely left their sector. The rest of the galaxy thought them timid, but they were wrong. The First Contact War began when an aggressive empire, eager for resources, demanded tribute from Earth. Their scouts had found humanity's outposts rich in metals and rare isotopes. They saw easy prey. They sent their ultimatum: surrender your worlds or be erased. The human answer was silence. No negotiations, no threats, just silence that lasted for 6 standard cycles. Then the aliens saw movement in the void. Ships they had never detected before appeared on the edge of their empire. They were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Human warships matte black, absorbing all light. Their hulls bore no insignia, no markings. They were shaped for efficiency, not ceremony. Every alien sensor failed to read their signatures. Every scan returned only static. And then they moved, fast, precise, and without hesitation. The alien fleets gathered to repel them, confident in their numbers. But the moment the first human salvo struck, confidence turned to terror. No weapon could match the precision of human targeting systems. Plasma barriers melted under kinetic strikes that moved faster than thought. Every human missile carried layers of deception, splitting into phantom warheads that confused and overwhelmed defenses. The aliens fired back, filling space with energy bolts and antimatter bursts, but nothing hit. The humans weaved through destruction as if they had seen it before, predicting every move with surgical calm. Entire armadas vanished in minutes. Not a single human vessel was lost. When the survivors retreated, they expected pursuit. None came. Instead, silence returned, cold and final. The humans didn't invade. They didn't claim territory. They left wreckage drifting in the dark as if to say the lesson was enough. Yet the alien High Council refused to believe it. They gathered reinforcements, summoning fleets from across their sectors, determined to strike back. Pride demanded vengeance. They launched another offensive, this time toward a human colony world on the edge of Sol space. Their armada numbered in the thousands. They thought numbers would bring victory. But when they entered the system, they found it already waiting. A single human ship drifted above the colony, its black hull reflecting the dim light of the distant star. It didn't move. It didn't transmit. The alien commander ordered an immediate strike, confident the lone ship would be destroyed before it could react. They fired everything: torpedoes, beams, pulse arrays, and watched the sky ignite. But when the light faded, the human ship still stood. It had not even activated shields. Then its engines came alive. Every alien sensor went blind as gravity itself seemed to distort around it. The human vessel accelerated, crossing distances in impossible seconds. Every alien ship it touched disintegrated. The battle was not a battle, it was an execution. The fleet's distress calls lasted less than 5 minutes. The commander, one of the few survivors, recorded his last message before fleeing into deep space. His voice cracked under fear. Do not attack the humans. You will never escape their wrath. That recording spread like a virus. Empires paused their conquests. Trade guilds rerouted their fleets away from human borders. Even pirate clans who once prowled near human space vanished. No one wanted to learn what wrath truly meant. But curiosity remained. The Galactic Council sent envoys, hoping to establish dialogue. The humans accepted. When the Council ships arrived, they found an Earth transformed. The blue planet no longer looked like a world of simple life and oceans. Orbiting it were structures vast enough to eclipse continents, rings of steel and energy, silent and cold. Thousands of ships, black and still, floated in perfect formation. As the envoys approached, automated beacons transmitted a calm message. Welcome to Earth. Remain in your assigned path. Do not deviate. The council's delegation descended to the surface. There were no parades, no guards. Only quiet precision. Humans met them with composure, not arrogance. Their technology was decades ahead of galactic standards, yet they displayed no sign of conquest. One of the envoys, shaken by the scale of their achievements, asked how humanity had built such power unnoticed. The human representative answered simply, "We remembered what happens when others forget peace." In the centuries before, humanity had torn itself apart many times. Wars of ideology, territory, and pride had burned their history. But from those ashes they learned efficiency, unity, and strategy. They built not for domination, but for survival. When they finally reached the stars, they brought those lessons with them. Every ship they made was designed to end wars before they began. Every fleet was built not to conquer, but to ensure no one would ever again threaten their existence. The Council tried to probe their military strength. The humans gave no numbers, only one phrase, enough to maintain silence. That phrase unsettled the Council more than any display of power could have. It suggested that humanity had already calculated every possible scenario of attack and was prepared for all of them. Years passed, and the galaxy adapted. Trade routes were redrawn to avoid human territory. Treaties were signed to preserve fragile peace. But deep in the outer regions, some powers still whispered of testing Earth's might. One such alliance gathered in secret. Their leaders believed the humans' power was exaggerated. They assembled an experimental fleet with cloaking technology, hoping to strike swiftly and claim human systems for themselves. They never arrived. Days later, their homeworlds received unmarked transmissions. Each message contained a single image, an empty battlefield, the remains of their fleet floating silently in orbit around a star none of their maps could identify. There was no explanation, no signature, just silence. The meaning was clear. Humanity had seen them coming long before they moved. After that, the declaration became doctrine. Every academy, every military command, every council meeting carried the same phrase, spoken with reverence and fear. Do not attack the humans. It became a universal law not written in treaties but carved into the memory of the stars. Centuries later, when explorers ventured beyond charted space, they found traces of ancient human presence on distant worlds, ruins of old observation stations, automated drones still recording the movement of alien ships, satellites still transmitting data to nowhere. Humanity's reach was far greater than anyone had realized. They had watched everything. They had always known. In the end, the galaxy understood that human wrath was not about rage or revenge. It was about inevitability. When provoked, humanity did not fight with emotion. They fought with precision, unity, and purpose. Their wrath was the calm before silence, the certainty that every enemy who raised a weapon against them would vanish into the dark without a trace. The empires that once ruled vast regions now treated human space as sacred. Pilots who strayed too close whispered of dark ships appearing without warning, following silently until they turned away. Some claimed to have seen massive constructs moving between stars, engines glowing faintly as if guarding something unseen. Others dismissed these as myths, but none dared to verify them. As for humanity, they remained quiet. They expanded no further, demanded nothing, and spoke little. Their fleet stayed hidden, their borders unmarked. Yet everyone knew they were still there, watching, waiting, ensuring that peace endured, and somewhere, deep within the void, beneath the cold light of distant suns, the first Black Fleet still drifted, silent guardians of a species whose patience was vast and whose fury was eternal. Every civilization knew the truth, though few dared to say it aloud. If the humans were ever attacked again, there would be no second warning. Only silence would remain.